It happened 5 years ago, and I had just run out of blood. When I went to my usual blood bank, they told me that they were on short supply due to a viral infection going about. So, I had to go hunting. I thought I would have some fun and go to this new nightclub called Midnight Red, see if I can isolate any potential candidates. After one or two drinks, I went onto the dance floor and got the attention of a tall guy with purple-tinted hair and caramel skin. He was more than what I expected, probably way out of my league, but he stayed close, really close. And we shared a kiss. I asked him if he wanted to get a room upstairs, told him we could have some more fun. And though he was hesitant, he said yes. He told me he just got his first paycheck at his new job and wanted to celebrate. When we went up and started making out, I waited till he was distracted, and then sunk my teeth into his neck. He tried to push me away, but I kept him pinned down. For some reason, I couldn't stop. And it wasn't because I was starving. It's just, he tasted too good, too rich and warm. It had been months since I drank from a human, but it never felt like this. But then, he went still. I stopped the moment he went limp, and I freaked out. I thought I killed him, but thankfully he still had a pulse, and he was still breathing. I knew I was going to get in big trouble if I didn't get him home soon. So I took his wallet, I figured out where he lived, casted a quick memory wipe, and dragged his happy ass back to the apartment. However, he started to come to when I started opening the door. When we got in, he pushed me away and asked for an explanation as to why I bit him. But I just looked at him, frozen. He wasn't supposed to remember what I did to him. He demanded an explanation, and then I started to cry. I was confused, and I started to apologize for taking his blood. I told him he would forget in a moment, but then the sun started to come up, and I started to freak out even more. I hid in the bathroom, panicking. Ray, on the other hand, had to lay down. He touched his neck and saw blood. He asked me what I did to him. I explained that I was a vampire. Obviously, he didn't believe me at first, till I opened the door, and he saw my pointy ears and bright red eyes. I then stuck my hand out into the sun and showed him that I'm the real deal. He thought he was high or something, but I told him that it was just 'cause I took a bit too much of his blood. As he lay down on the bed while I was stuck in his bathroom, I started to explain my situation. That I ran out of blood and that I had to go hunting, quote unquote. I didn't mean for it to go that far, but I was assuming it had been a while, and that he tasted really good. I also said that I casted a spell that would wipe his memory, but for some reason it didn't work. He got up to get some water. I was still stuck in the bathroom, essentially trapped because of the open window. He then asked if he was going to turn. I laughed and said no. It's a bit more complicated than just a bite. He asked if there were other vampires. I said yes. He asked if there were other supernatural creatures. I said yes. He asked if there was such thing as magic. I said yes. And then he asked if there was a heaven and hell. I stuttered a bit and said yes. We were quiet for a bit. I don't think he knew what else to say. I said I was sorry, that I should have been more careful. He told me that he wouldn't tell anyone. Last thing he wanted is to look like a loon. I asked if I could try wiping his memory again after the sun went down. And to my surprise, he agreed. He closed the window curtains so that I could walk around and get out of his bathroom. And at the end of the day, when the sun went down, I walked up to him, placed my hand over his forehead, and chanted the spell. And once the light started to fade, I walked away. But then he called out to me and asked if it would kick in later that night. I stopped mid-step, turned around with probably the most confused look on my face. And that's when I realized that it didn't work on him. Almost none of my magic was working on him. I was perplexed. He might have some ancestral lineage that could explain it, but he told me to forget it. That he'll keep his mouth shut and not say anything. Told me that he didn't want to get involved in this secret world and knew that it would be best for both of us if we pretended like this never happened. I agreed, but I did ask if I could at least come back tomorrow and make sure that he was okay. He begrudgingly agreed, and after that we kind of just kept in touch. Every so often we would hang out and grab a bite to eat, be people. Sometimes the topic of the supernatural will come up, but it'd be more to humor me, make fun of the similarities and some of the crazier sides of life. He did ask about the blood thing, and I did explain that some humans have a higher connection to magic, making their blood more desirable than others. It might also explain why I couldn't wipe his memories with just a simple spell, but besides that, we kinda kept things mutual. And to answer some questions that might be floating in your heads, did we ever kiss again after that night at the club? Yes. Will I explain why we kissed again? No. Did we ever develop feelings for each other? No. Did he make most of my jewelry? Yes. Does Gally know that he knows all of this? No. And does he plan on ever digging deeper into the whole magic thing? From what he told me, only if his life depended on it. So for now, no, I think.